Hey guys, sorry for the delay. I was rechecking a connection to one of our servers. Raise your hand. I know that I saw that you already raised your hand, that you can hear me, which is great. Okay. So we've been talking about CMDB. We've created our own site types. We've created our own types, and let's try to work with them. Okay. Let's try to work them and have them in the list. Okay? So CI types in here, I will create a new CI, which I will create. For example, I will create Apple iPhone 5. I know that the i5 doesn't exist yet. The CI type will be cell phones, and the sub type will be iPhone. The category, do we want category? No, we don't want category. Status is active. Everything that comes from that CI is high. The location of that CI is actually in South America. The owner of that CI is admin. The supplier of our phones is Matrix, and let's customize this category. We don't want supply date, accept date, import item, take out, and the priority also take out. Okay, and required will be the CI type, and the subtype also required. Save. Okay, this is my iPhone 4. Okay, the supply date was, this one was yesterday. Accept date will take out. Don't care about it. Okay, and we'll create in OK. Now here, if I open the form, the Apple iPhone, I can see here that I have my form of Apple iPhone. If I go to see a relation graph, I can start and see the map. I have it in the map. In this case, I have it alone, okay? I haven't yet linked in the map this item to another item. For example, I update my iPhone using the cable plugging into my computer, into my laptop. My laptop is called SUP011. Let's see if I have it in here in the list, SUP011. Here we have SUP011. So we'll go back to the iPhone graph. Okay, sorry. And I will go to CI relations. Talk about CI, the interaction between different two CIs is called the CI relation. We have different CI types, relation types, in which we can select. For example, my iPhone is updated by my computer, and my iPhone, when we add photos and stuff, also updates my computer. That means we have two ways of working. So update by, have access by, access connected to, consist, host, installed on, part of. We don't have update, and we don't have dated by and update. So I want to create. I'll go here to CI relation type, and I'll create a new CI relation type. The affecting relation is updates media, and affected by relation is updated or, for example, battery charged by, Okay, so we'll go into our iPhone and we'll select this relation, and we'll add a relation which is by charged by. This iPhone is all the time charged by. Let's add SUP011. SUP011, which should be around here. SUP011, select. Okay, you go to this graph, I can see here that the iPhone, I haven't saved it, I think. In here, yeah, asset. The problem is that this asset is not yet, is a CI type, an asset. Okay, so in this case, we see that from the asset CI, the SUP011 updates media to the Apple iPhone. Now think about it. We're looking from the perspective of the SUP, from the laptop. We're not looking from the perspective of the iPhone. Okay, that's why we say updates media from this point to another. If I open the Apple iPhone, I go to CI relation graph, display all in the graph, and this SUP updates the media, okay? To see it again, okay? Both of them here. Updates media and click after. Okay. You know what? Let's add another iPhone, okay? My iPhone and my co-worker's iPhone also is dated by SUP011. Okay? So we'll go into CI this, add a new CI. I'll add into CI iPhone Apple 5. This will be mine, Ronnie. You know what? Let's put it at the beginning, Ronnie. We selected CI, no, it's cell phone, is smartphone, iPhone. Okay, and automatically you see the form was changed into my subtype form. The status is active, the location is Europe, the owner is admin2, the supply date was bought 2 days ago. Then we'll click OK. Okay, in this case we still have Ronnie, Apple iPhone, and Joe's Apple iPhone. Okay, so enter Ronnie's Apple iPhone. We'll add the relationship. Okay. The relationship between them are also SP11. Sorry, I have to select the relation type before. Battery charged by SP011. There you go. If I go to the graph, you can see that SUP011 updates the media to both phones. Okay. Now, sorry about it. We have two different CIs which are updated the media to the SUP. Now, if I go to SUP and I go to CI relation graph, I'll put that SUP relation graph and CI relations is update media to what we have to put in here. And your answer is correct, both iPhones. Select. Let's try again. Update medium. I'll select, in this case, just one. And we have a specific problem. We'll see why we have a problem. We'll go to the graph and see it's media. And I'll open the CI again. It's nice to have live sessions that can have, you know, this is the drawback of having, you know, test environment. We all the time play with them and change things and so on and so forth. So I'll try to select one of them and try again. No, I have a specific problem with updates. Let's try to put connect to. That's it. Please connect to these two items. We'll see after what happens with relation type. And now you see that it's connected to and updates the media. So if we click here in F5, the relation graph, I'll put all. And we can see that's connected to and updates the media, which is actually great. I'll check afterwards why our CI relation was not corrected. But you know what? Let's create a new one. Do you know that between the two items we have Bluetooth connection, right? Let's create a CI relation type. I have to save something here. So why? Let's save it in here. Great. CI relation type. I'll create a new CI relation type. Will be affected relation receives gets Bluetooth data, and this one will be sends gets receives. Actually, that's the correct way to write receives. Receives Bluetooth data, sends Bluetooth data. We'll apply. We have a new relation type, and between the iPhones, let's connect between them. So, Ronnie, my iPhone, CI relations, sends Bluetooth data to it sends this data to Joe's Apple iPhone. Select, and Joe's Apple iPhone receives data from Bluetooth data from Ronnie's Apple iPhone. Let's see now it works properly. No, because we already have a relationship here. That's why. If you go to the graph, we can see that all. Okay, so we have a triangle in here. What we have in here we can understand from this. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's the same. SP11 is connected to Ronnie and updates media, okay? And is connected to Joe's and updates media. Joe's actually receives Bluetooth data from Ronnie. This is not correct in this case. I will change it. See our relations. This one I will delete and put receives Bluetooth data into Joe's. And this way, using these relation types and so on and so forth, this is the way in which we create our graph. That is correct. Joe's receives Bluetooth data from Ronnie, okay? So in this case, this is the way in which you build your own map. You can add in here different processes, different applications. For example, we have here assets. SUP11 uses a mouse. Let's create a new mouse, which will be an optical mouse. Ronnie's optical mouse. The select type be mouse. Do we have a subtype in here? We don't have a subtype. And I'll select that the status is active, and I'll click under apply. And under relations, this mouse is connected to my computer, SUP11. SUP11. There you go. Select. Now if I go to SU11 and see here in the graph that if I go to everything, I can see here that in this case I don't have a graphic icon for the mouse, so this is the default account. And we see that if we have an incident, SUP11 is down. What will happen? Okay, what do you think will happen? Of course, that will have a free mouse, which is not a bad thing, but I won't be able to charge my both iPhones, and I will be able to send all my media updates into anywhere because they only work with SUP011. Okay, so here go back to the both examples that we talked about before. Okay, this is a good example in order to build say, a CMDB map. We put servers. Is the Sysaid help desk install the Mars server, the price quote install the Mars server. Now the corporate website is the place in which the quote actually is installed and being used, and the corporate website is installed in Jupyter server. Okay, so if Jupyter server goes down, what will happen? The corporate site will be down, but the price quotes will be able to send. Why? Because it's installed in the Mars server. Okay, instead having a good topology and good order of information, I create all your technology, map information, and everything can be processed. For example, we can create. Sorry about that. We can create here new CI type, which will be process. Okay. And under subtype, I'll select under processes, I'll select backup or daily backup. Daily backup. I can add an icon. I don't know if I have here an icon of this small icon so we can see here. And we click add. And now this daily backup, you can create a CI relation type. That means that runs every Wednesday on. For example, let's create a CI relation type. Affecting relation runs every Monday on, and the affected relation is triggered by. We click OK. We go to CI list, create a new CI, and we'll select the CI will be processes, daily backup, and we'll put the CI name will be hard disk backup. Okay, and this status will be active, and we'll apply and link this process into our SCP-011. That means that will be where are my relation types? Runs every Monday on this backup runs every Monday on SCP-011. SCP-011. Oh, I don't see it in here. I see it in here. I click here in select. I go to my relation graph. Now I can see that I have the icon is not correct in here, so I'll have to change the icon. Let's go to subtype, we'll cancel. Okay, so you can see how important SCP-011 is. Okay, if you see an incident about SCP-011, you can by a second know what are all the services that will be affected. Not only that, but if you want to upgrade, like Joe did, the server to another server, you know all the services that will be affected, because why? You have a map. And in this case, you can see how important a map is for many different aspects. And when you actually say that the people working in the IT department, the amount of information they have is according to the amount of time they have been in the organization, and we don't want that. From the ITIL perspective, it's not good. ITIL base says all your technological information must be recorded and must be placed and must be visualized and it must be stored in a specific topology, a specific map somewhere. That information is not meant to be in the heads of your IT technicians. It's meant to be in a specific CMDB tool. So that CMDB tool, we have it in Sysaid. Okay, so that's another important thing to work with. Let's say you have in your organization for every employee, you have 1,000 employees. Everyone will get an iPhone. Okay, an iPhone 5, like an iPhone 4S, I think is the latest one. So you can create CI instead of into the list and create one by one. You go and create CI templates. So go into CI templates, add a new CI template, and here create iPhone. Let's create first of all this CI type. Cell phones, iPhone, or corporate iPhone. Corporate iPhone. Okay. The status is active. Now the status is very important, because there are organizations that below the request to have information of all the status of assets for a period of 7 years. Okay. If everything if something gets broken or stolen or everything, you move it to inactive. Okay. Or even if you want to move to broken or stolen, but the idea is to have a track of at least 7 years. That's by law. I know that, for example, in some countries you can create. Okay, and in this case we have a corporate. Okay, here one template, and that template you can use it. The status that you can use in order to link, okay, as many different CIs that you want, which is actually great. And what is the idea? The idea is to customize every C form into what you see important. For example, let's say the cell phone will have a phone number, for example. One of the main questions that arise all the time is what's the difference between a CI and asset? I get all the time the question from the students. I don't know if you ask it in chat. See if we have, do you have any important, any questions in the chat? They haven't asked what's the difference between CI and asset. So I'll ask I'll ask the question by myself. Asset actually, first of all, is a computing element which you have an agent installed. Not necessarily an agent installed, but you can discover it using WMI, but it's actually something that is reporting to you that we are controlling and we are monitoring. In the case that an asset we can perform more control with, you can access and chat with a different asset, and Sys gives you a module where you can perform management for the assets. But I want to give an example. What about iPhones? iPhones don't have assets. They don't have agents being installed. They cannot be assets. They are CIs. A mouse, for example, a mouse is not an asset. It's a CI. Okay, we cannot connect to it. We cannot A process, not an asset, is a CI. CI is a configuration element, a item in which you can create in everything you want, even things that we haven't thought about. Okay, and other differences from the licensing side. In Sysaid, the assets are actually part of the license. That means you pay per entry. If you bought, for example, 100 assets, you can put 100 assets. CI, you pay per module. That means you don't pay per entry. You have unlimited CIs and will not be part of the licensing according to the quantity of CI that you have. Okay, so that's another difference between the asset management and also that the CI gives you all the CMDB gives you the relationships. Okay, you cannot relate between different assets. Okay, you can relate between different CIs, and by having let me tell you, I've been different on-site customers that are using Sysaid, and they have such a beautiful CMDB map that even me myself, after only 1 year being being there, when I just arrived, they showed me the CMDB, and they can see all the map of everything that is happening in the IT department, all the processes, when they're happening. And the idea here is they can mark who are the critical servers, okay? And that takes me to the tips, okay, on how and what is the best way in order to create a site. First, you need to know that you know your environment, and you are the only one that can actually say and create your environment. We do have professional services here, a team in which you can always contact and be in contact with them and ask them regarding the different services that can provide in order to implement, if we're talking about CDB or other modules. But think about it, you know your environment best. A CI as well is a physical, logical, or conceptual item. Can be a computer system, can be a logical installed instance of a software program. For example, quotes. If you're using any, for example, a CRM that sends quotes, then you can parse that CRM into a quote module or customer management or reports. Means the reporting might be in a different place, and a business project like backup, as we should. Best practices. Our tips. And from ITIL, mark which say affects crucial business processes. Mark them, okay? Mark which ones are critical. Of course, a laptop of a simple end user will be different from the Exchange server domain controller. Rely on business processes mapping when processing incidents, schedule tasks also. Share and document information. That is the main key here. Share and document information of your organization, okay? Also tips, keeps your data updated, okay? It takes time, it takes work, but at a glance, the profit from it, from the investment that you're putting. Keep your data available, accessible for the different personnel that you want to access, and don't put everything as CI, okay? The first students all the time run and say, okay, I'll put the CI, I'll put the right click of the mouse as a CI, the left click of the mouse, another CI, the scroll down, then the mouse, another CI, the table of the mouse is another CI, okay? Because don't abuse, okay, the information, because otherwise you will have a map and you won't be able to understand anything that you have, okay? Because you can just don't abuse the map, something that will be able in order for you to track and to understand. Make sure you use CI types and use them wisely. That means custom your different forms. If you want to add pricing, also have in here. Let me show you in the system. Add new CI template. Sorry, not CI template. CI list. Add new CI. If I go to a customized form, you see we have all of these pretty fun. All these pretty fine. All these pretty fine fields. The word just went out of my head. All the fields that you have here, you know how to customize them, okay? You go to translation, you look at them, you change the caption of them. We can add the list in here to my form. For example, this is a list that doesn't have any value. You go to the lists under customize and add. You should know it from the previous session. You can add any field that you want. You can build your own forms the way that you just like, okay? You know better your environment and all your CIs. Make sure that in your help desk procedure you attach a relevant CI to every incident. If you have an incident or you have a change problem which we will talk tomorrow, then you can select into a incident either assets or CIs. So let me show you an example. If I go to my service desk, I'll wait for the system to load. I'll go to incidents and I'll add a new incident. And here I have, I go to the cog to customize, and we have here CI relation graph and CI relationship. I will add both of them. I'll click save. CI relation don't have. Where's CI? The other CI we haven't. We have here impact, which I'll talk in a minute. Save. Impact, you decided, okay, according to what is the CI relation. And if I go here to related items, I can, here you can see, I can link this incident to a specific CI, for example, into an iPhone. I have here. Into the iPhone, for example. So in this case, I know that this iPhone has this specific incident, which is coming from the mobile and device and problem with the device, so upgrade and so on and so forth. And what is interesting about it is from here, from the general settings, you can already see the graph because of add, and you can see all the affecting CI. It means automatically see all the affecting CI. You don't have to open it, and this table is actually in here. So it's beautiful. Okay, just beautiful. You can even see all the things that this iPhone is connected to. This is the backup process, and you can see all the map. Okay, if only Joe has this map, then he will still be happy about it. And okay, you have the required fees in order to have the service request user to go all the service. Israel description, we have status open, urgency high, request user, admin. Let's put request. Let me see if we can save now. Location selection. Location. Where do we have location? Here in the US. And then we can save the service request. Finally, if we go to the CMB, then we can see here a list that we have iPhone and we have a service request in the help desk or the help desk side. A service link to it. No, it's not this one. It was Joe's help. As you can see, you have a service request link to it. So you can see here all the service requests and all the history, okay, thing that was added to and so on and so forth. What else we have in the CMDB here? We have import. We talked about it, in which you can import anything. You can import CIs from an Excel table, CSV table, in which the exact way, for example, assets, and you get a default type. Okay, you just select the fields according to the columns. You should know it. We talked about it in the second session, I think, the third session, I don't remember correctly. And we have the CMDB settings. Automatically import a new asset to the CMDB. This is automatically happening. Automatically remove a deleted asset from the CMDB. This one we recommend have it unchecked because if below you request to have a record of the assets, then just don't automatically remove it. Automatically import a new service, a software product to the CMDB. Or you can go over the assets you have here. Also import assets, asset to CI settings. You have here the help which you can go. But this is the module, okay? Guys, get a raise of hands for you to know that you're still alive in the other side. Great. I know that's not the most interesting topic, ITIL and CMDB, but once we have to go over it in order to be a certified Sysaid and CMDB, ITIL. And we have another 15 minutes, even a little bit more, to talk about our next topic, which also goes over the ITIL, which is SLA. But before you have any question regarding CMDB or regarding web forms, please, this is the time for you to ask. Okay. You say that you're liking, okay, so thank you, thank you. You like the instructor, you don't like the part of the course. Questions, guy asks, okay, it is possible to export. It is possible to export, why? Because we have in here a list, okay, like any list in Sysaid. You can click here in export in PDF or Excel, and the exporting will help you if you want to perform a massive change. If you want to perform a massive change of the a quantity of assets, for example, location, I want to add all of them. You can see in the asset module that we talked about mass change using the Excel import. Okay, you export it and you upload it again with the location. You know what? I'll just, if you already since you talked about it, you sorry about that. I will export it. Let's say, for example, you see these. You see all of these printers, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 until 16. I want to add a US to location to them. So how to do it? Massive change. I'll go over it again, like here in the Excel. I'll save the file. Okay, great. We select we open the file. If my Excel, there you go. And here you have the CI name, the serial number, and I will delete all of it. I don't want. That means I want only the printers and the routers. So I'll take all of it, all of these down. I'll delete all the rows. Delete the entire rows. Printers. What do we have in here? We have in here this is like the serial number. I don't care about it. This one also I don't care about it. I don't care about it. Delete the inter columns. And as in location was, location was and after the active. So that means that this one is location. Open here US, and we'll spread all of them to here, and and delete. I don't care about all of these columns. Okay, so we have here the ID, we have here the CI name, and we have the location. So what to do with it? We have to upload it. So I will put it in my desktop, into export one CSV into my desktop here. Beautiful. Save it as yes. I'll go to Sysaid. I'll import, and I'll select that do not import the headline. I want to no. We have 3 lines. The first one is the ID, CI ID. The second one is the CI name, and the third one was the location, right? You know what? Let me open again the table. I need to see CI ID, name, and location. Great. So I'll browse my file and let's see what happens. And I'll click in submit, and please provide a key file index to do a key file 1. Oh, the file was unselected. And 16 of CI is imported. So if I go to the list, I can see here that voila, all the location of the massive change performed, also in those printers that I haven't seen. Okay, so this is the way that you perform massive. Okay, you can export and you can import. Okay, so we move into the next topic, which is in this case SLA. A small topic. Okay, don't be scared. Not CMDB and ITIL concept. We went over this the ITIL concept. SLA actually talks about an agreement. Okay, every organization has have the same concept of agreement. Okay, it can be an agreement towards the end user, towards the customer, or internally. For example, an OLA. OLA actually is an internal agreement with organizations. For example, if you need help or you need something for a different department, then you have a specific agreement. They won't give you in 3 years something that you requested. Again, in this case, we're talking about SLA, we're talking about service level agreement towards the end user, to the customer. And Sysaid and ITIL, of course, comes from the ITIL. ITIL says, okay, you have an organization and you have to provide service, means you must take care every day that your organization works from the IT side. So you have to, for the ones asking for the service, the end users, you should have a contract. And that contract should have exactly what I tell you to have. First of all, it will have an expectation of time, okay, in which you will have to spend in order to fix the problem. It will have a routing, okay, to a specific person, so the end user can know, ask any question. It will have the hours in which the end user can ask those questions. It will have notifications in case, different rules in case that the due date is going to come, and let's go into the system and let's try in the system how the SLA look like. We have here a nice model. Sorry, also the GoToWebinar. I have 3 browsers, as you can see, to open. So anyway, so the sorry, the SLA. If I go here to SLA module, I have here one default SLA, which is coming by default from the system. I'll build a new SLA by clicking here, and I'll put VIP SLA. I have end users, right, but I have VIP end users, ones that I like the most. So to those ones, I'll give a different service. VIP SLA. We'll apply. And that SLA has in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tabs, options. And those tabs and options are exactly the thing that we talked about. Routing rules. Specific requests coming from people having that SLA will go to where? First of all, who are my VIP end users? VIP end users are the ones in group E. Just selected one random. I have no idea what we have in group E. Group E, because it's very critical that group E will have everything working. Why? Because group E is in charge of the financial side of the company. Computer can explode, but if we're talking about financial, we're talking about critical, okay, in organization based. So any problem coming with ERP and finance, the one in charge of it will be Batman, actually, in this case. So we will add. So ITIL, we have the first check in ITIL. ITIL said that we have an LA, we would have a routing. That means a specific person will be in charge of that service level for the end users to connect them and to be responsible for them. In this case, Batman, in charge of the financial side of the organization. Priorities. Every SLA has a specific priority. If we're talking about a level agreement of normal end users, I'll fix your ERP, your CRM in 2 hours. But if it's the ERP of final, I will solve it in 30 minutes or even in 1 hour. Okay. So here for VIP SLA, for all companies and all impacts and urgencies, I don't care what, everything will be very high. Okay. The priority will be very high. So for every service request coming from group E, will be very high. I don't care what was the urgency that the end user actually inserted, will be very high. About priority regarding a specific asset. If we're talking about the ERP, everything that comes from asset 73211, no, MKT 019, which is our ERP server, will be very high. Everything which is coming from a specific user. For example, you have people which are critical, which must have a specific SLA level agreement for them in order to solve them as quick as, for example, the CEO. Okay, if the CEO is abroad, the sales, people from the sales are abroad and have technical problems, they can go over the presentation, so on and so forth. So they have a specific level agreement. Due dates. Every ERP problem for ERP finance will be 1 hour. That's it. 1 hour is the time, the due time that which is not a lot, but if it's important because we cannot send quotes, we cannot receive money. We are a bank. If our ERP for finance technology system goes down, then we have to close the bank. All of these apps, you know them from the service desk settings. They're not new, but in this case, we look at them from the SA side. Escalation rule. I want to create an escalation rule. Every time that the ERP is down, every time that I have a new incident, server down ERP, I want to notify all the end users EP is down, so please stop doing new transactions. For example, I can create a new escalation rule. Operating hours. In this case, for ERP, which is very important, I will have from 12 to 12. That means 24/7. Okay, because it's very important. We're talking about VRP. Okay, exclude dates. We don't have exclude dates. We don't have Memorial Days. We don't have anything. Okay, 24/7 for the SLA. Okay, I'll click apply. I have my new SLA, as you can see in here, VIP. Now, if I go to a specific end user, user management, for example, I'll go to the end user. We have here a lot of end users. They're low. Oh, no, let's add a new end user. And here, I want this end user to be part of VIP SLA. I'll go here to agreement and add agreement to the form. In this case, it's not coming by default. So this end user, I will call it Ronnie, for example, will have the VIP SLA. Okay, so you can have SLA to end users, level of end users, level of groups, or level of over incident. Incident can be for a specific agreement. For example, I go to the service desk, I go to specific incident, for example this one, and this one has agreement. No, add agreement. Agreement in here, and we click save, and we have here agreement. In this case, we have known. Why? Because we don't have a request user. Why we don't have small appendix? Okay, I'll check it in a minute. If we have different entities in the system, for example, groups, end users, means, and incidents and problems, the stronger one will be end user all the time. That means that if we have a VIP SLA in 2 hours, and we have an end user belonging to a group called Group E, and that group E has another SLA called Super VIP in 1 hour instead of 2 hours, that's for the group, and we have an end user that is in Group E, but that end user has normal in his end user form, then it will be normal. Okay, that means the end user is the one that actually is the preferred one. Okay, the one that is most important one. So SLA, my tips to you is think about the contracts that you're building. The SLA is the contract between you and your end users, okay? And it allows you to define common ground rules, routing, due dates, priority time, and escalation rules. This is something that you receive in your in your course book, which shows here in Sysaid how our SLA actually works. Part of the SLA is a flow, which you will have time to see, and so on and so forth. So we finish here, in which we have SLM, which we'll see the next session. Now, a small tip from me to you is maybe you don't have time to implement CMDB. Maybe you don't have time to think about good contract SLAs. No one has time. We know it, right? Right, Ori? No one has time. Time is very hard to find, but try to give you the specific, I will not call time, we'll call it investment. And why investment? Because you will see that you will get the profit in the future. Try to play with it. Try new things, okay? Implement SLA, implement CMDB in your organization. If you don't like it, you can always take it off, okay? But let me tell you that we have a lot of customers that with Sysaid, they completely changed their IT department using these specific modules, tours. And we have more and more customers and organizations that go through the ITIL path because they actually realize that ITIL is the correct way to do it. Okay, it's the correct procedures, the correct processes.